Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. First and foremost, once again, my name is Saad. I am from the international office at APU, Asia Pacific University. As Shad mentioned, we are a university that is very well known for information technology, computer science, AI, cybersecurity, engineering, business management, accounting, architecture, design, and much more. We will cover a little bit of what we offer shortly. Before we talk about the university, though, I just want to do a quick overview about the country Malaysia itself. So often people actually don't really look at Malaysia as a study destination, which is a very unconventional idea at times. However, in the past 2 decades, Malaysia has gained a lot of momentum in the education industry. Of course, in the middle of Southeast Asia, surrounded by all the Southeast Asian countries. Malaysia is very well known for its multicultural, diverse environment. You have multiple races in Malaysia, and everyone lives in harmony. I have been in Malaysia for 13 years now. I was actually in Saudi Arabia before. Um, Another thing that Malaysia does very well is the integration of academics. So you have universities that have branch campuses from the UK, from Australia, and Malaysian universities that actually have collaborations with these overseas universities to offer dual degrees for students. English is a very, very, very widely spoken language. I'm pretty sure there are certain graduates here as well from Malaysian universities. And through their time in Malaysia, they wouldn't have had to actually learn the local language because everyone really speaks English across the city and the country as a whole. And of course, it is very affordable. I would say not only from an education perspective, but also from a cost of living perspective, Malaysia has been a very uh, affordable is the word we like to use, study destination. And that is again one of the reasons why a lot of people have started to shift towards Malaysia. It is a very safe and peaceful country. You never really hear about Malaysia in the headlines when it comes to natural disasters or geopolitical issues. And my personal favorite thing about the country is its dynamic lifestyle. So it totally depends on you. If you want to have a very lavish lifestyle or a very modest lifestyle, you actually can, right? Um, it is going to be, or already is, the city that has the second tallest building, right after Burj Khalifa, with the Merdeka 118. It has a beautiful skyline, and Malaysia is a metropolitan city. We usually, like many cities, like to call it the city that never sleeps. And in terms of its international reputation, it's one of the most affordable study destinations, top 5 in Asia. It is 13th most peaceful country by the Global Peace Index, 24th best student city, third ASEAN city for ICT development, and 25th best country for expat living. There's actually a lot of options for expatriates as well to extend their time in Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia. So this is the peace index, and you can see the countries that are actually above and some notable countries that are actually about the same as Malaysia. Now, one of the things that is also very new but quite um, a benefit for students is they have something called a graduate pass. So about 32 nationalities at the moment are eligible to get a 1 year extension of their visa upon completion of their undergraduate or postgraduate study. Now, knowing how Malaysia does function, especially if you look at the history of when COVID pandemic happened and they were relaxing borders, Malaysia has a trend of opening up certain things to a certain amount of people, testing out the theory and seeing if it works well and expanding. So this was actually inaugurated in 2023 in February, graduate pass, and it was earlier limited to certain countries. They added India and China later on, and now they've added ASEAN countries a few months ago, and we are expecting them to add a lot more, if not a blanket approval for all countries, right? So that is a little bit about Malaysia. And speaking about APU itself, so Asia Pacific University actually started as an institute in 1993, before which it was a project of the government. In 1993, if you think about 1993, that was the time where companies started to introduce computers in their workplaces. So we were a training institute, a training center for working professionals. When the project was shut down by the government, our CEO decided to actually continue on as a private institute. And ever since then, we have been the most elaborate and leading university in technology and innovation across various departments. We have close to 90,000 now students that have graduated with us since then. We are ranked 10th in the world for international student diversity. So we have students from 133 plus countries right now. We have our, I would say, my colleagues and offices and support offices in more than 20 countries. Um, of course, some of the areas that we are very well known for, as I mentioned earlier, is technology, engineering, business, finance, architecture, design, and much more. And of course, a lot of students, if not the most international students, are at APU in Malaysia because of our employability. So we work with close to 3,000 plus companies in and around Malaysia, and currently have for the past few years 100% employability rating, and also the highest paid graduates in the country. Recognition locally, APU is actually the highest rated emerging university, while our college, which runs a couple of certificate programs, is the top private college in Malaysia. By the government, we are recognized as a premier digital tech university, which basically is a recognition given to universities for the efforts that they make to ensure the graduates are employable and future proof. By PC.com, APU has actually also been known as the best tech university, best AI university, and best future ready university. And once again, 100% employability while also being the Employer's Choice of University Award winner for the past few years. We are the first and only Malaysian university to achieve the QAA UK accreditation. So as of 2024, students are actually able to study further or go to the UK without any issues. We are the only university that across the UK is accepted in terms of our education qualification. And also globally, when you talk about QS, Quacquarelli Simons, I'm sure you know this name very well. World ranking, something that we really, really like to scrutinize on. APU actually joined the QS ranking slightly late, right after COVID. And in the past 3 or 4 years, we have seen a very, very high trajectory of our ranking. We are currently at top 2%. We are ranked 10th in the world for international student diversity, 16th in the world for international student experience. Our faculties rank 170 in the world, while in Asia we are 147. And something that is going to change very soon because the new rankings are going to be released in a couple of weeks. We are currently 597 in the world. Also, what QS does is a star-based rating. So under QS stars, we are one of 24 universities in the world that has a 5-star plus rating, which is the maximum possible tier. There's only 3 in Asia, if I'm not wrong. And when you achieve the maximum points in 9 or more areas, you get 5-star plus. So APU has teaching, internationalization, facilities, social responsibility, online learning, accounting, and finance, academic development, employability, and inclusiveness, because of which we are a 5-star plus university. Also, another metric, which is the applied HE, the public and private university rankings. APU actually is top 20 in Asia and top 5 in the ASEAN countries. Our top countries where we have students from, of course, is the entire South Asia. We have Sri Lanka, Seychelles, Egypt, Sudan, Kenya, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, Yemen, and so on. And this campus is where actually all of our students study. I'm just going to do a quick overview of the campus, show you a little bit of what the life is like at the university, some pictures. Just to give you an understanding, if you are seeing the screen right now, these buildings right here, which are towards the back, are our on-campus accommodations. And there are some buildings that could be a bit far off, like over here or somewhere down the road there. Those would be off-campus accommodations. So APU does offer on and off-campus accommodation options. We can talk about that as well. However, if you look at the university building, it actually has the concept of a spine. So a human spine is basically a center spine that has blocks on either side. And that's basically how the university is as well, right? So we have different blocks, block A all the way to block J and K. And I'll just give you a little bit of peek on the inside. So this picture that you see on the left is actually the spine that leads to various blocks all the way from block A towards the end. It's a very open concept university. So you actually will see that it is very lively. There are places for students to study, chill, relax, eat, do yoga, whatever they want. There's many opportunities for them to actually do things in their free time. And everything comes together right here, which we like to call the center point or the heart of the university. So this is where you have your cafeteria, where you are connected to the facilities like your gym, your swimming pool, your ATM, your prayer room, um, convenience store, clinic on campus, all the different blocks, everything is connected through here. We also have 9 different auditoriums that are of different capacities based on what needs to be done. If it is the graduation ceremony, if it is a seminar, if it is a CEO talk, we invite companies to the campus to often address our students as well. All of that happens here. This is actually a picture of our September intake. We had close to 2,900 new students in September 2025. And these students that you see on your screen are actually only the computing and engineering students. In terms of other facilities, we have a very unconventional library. If you see, it is a very relaxed space where students can actually chill and study and just laze around. Or there's also rooms that you can book to do group studies. You can connect your laptop to a TV and actually showcase your work to your lecturer or your friends. However, of course, being a university, we also at the back have something called a silent zone where you can sit and study and have your own workspace. Before I continue, I just want to remind you that we do have a chat function. I understand that we have a Q&A session at the end, but if you have any questions or anything comes to mind, please feel free to drop your questions up in the chat and we will answer them later on. Okay. Tech labs, of course, being a university that is very well known for technology, we have close to 60 plus different types of labs. We have gaming studios, we have engineering labs, we have AI labs, we have cybersecurity labs. Engineering, we run different areas of engineering. So we have specialized facilities such as the Asia Pacific Center of Robotic Engineering. We also have something called Center of Research and Development in IoT Credit. We also have something called APCA, which is Asia Pacific Center of Analytics. We have power engineering labs. We have a computer aided design lab. And this facility is basically why APU is rank 1 in Asia for the past 7 years for cybersecurity. We have something called a cyber range and also a security operations center where students are able to actually see live what are the cyber threats around the world that are incoming and outgoing. So where it originates from, where it is headed to, what kind of an attack it is. We have 2 French companies and the government of Malaysia that has actually worked on the infrastructure at the university. And it is one of its kind military grade cybersecurity talent zone. For those of you that are interested in games development or multimedia technology, we also have Malaysia's first mini games museum. So if you are someone that used to have a gaming console in 1970s, you can actually see something dated as old as 1972 here. Now, and you guys are going to be the first people to actually see this. One of the labs that we are now coming to start by next week or so is our DGX Spark supercomputer lab. This is powered by NVIDIA. So NVIDIA actually visited our campus last month. They designed the whole place. These supercomputers each are worth close to $20,000 because they are, in terms of computational capacity, these are basically what run large language models such as ChatGPT and Gemini and things for it to be able to process super fast. So we have 18 units, and the lab is going to be functional for our AI students. We also have a games lab and studio. Our upcoming project is also to have a streaming room for students as well. XR Studios, if you are interested in augmented reality, mixed reality, or virtual reality. One of the most interesting projects I personally have seen is a cycle that you might have in the gym. However, you wear a VR headset while you are on the cycle, and you can choose which part of the world you want to simulate the terrain. So if you are going uphill somewhere in Australia, the cycle actually changes its level of effort and emphasis to actually simulate the toughness of that circuit. And this is used by Olympic athletes, and it is present here at APU. We also have a financial trading center for students that are interested in fintech, blockchain management, under IT, under banking, or in fintech itself. We have a very interesting psychology program. Our psychology program, as well, again, uses technology and artificial intelligence. Um, to give you another example of how AI and technology works in psychology, there was actually a patient that had 60% of his body with burns, third-degree burns, and they were doing skin grafting, which is a very painful procedure. But what the psychologists did is they actually gave him a VR, and he was inside a video game where he was a snowman. And as a snowman, his job was to escape the maze. Psychologically, he was inside an ice environment while being treated for burns, and this patient felt 60% less pain, just as a factor of how psychology is very important in terms of how our brain reacts. So we actually use something called the EEG. You can see the helmet that the gentleman on the left top is wearing. Just how we know, if I was to ask you, I draw on the screen what this is, immediately people will say that is a heartbeat, correct? Am I right? If you can see, that's a heartbeat, right? And we can immediately say that's a heartbeat because since we were young, we have been told that's what a heartbeat looks like. Now, imagine you could see that same thing about your brain when you are angry, you are sad, you are upset, you are surprised, you sneeze, you blink. We can use a computer to actually understand what the brain looks like when it is performing a certain function. And that's what we call technology in psychology. All right. Then we have our School of Design. So industrial design, furniture design, transport design, product design. If you're interested in visual effects, if you're interested in animation, or one of our fastest growing latest schools, which is the School of Built Environment, architecture. So students have their own dedicated spaces for the entire duration of their studies. And that is basically our architecture studio. Um, Again, if you are interested in any of our master's or research programs, we have an entire block which is dedicated to students for primary research, for discussions, to conduct interviews. The concept of classrooms in masters is very different. If you have a look at the right side, the last picture, it has a very 360 kind of a structure because classes in masters are mostly about discussions. And they have their own lounge as well because a lot of master students are doing part-time classes. If they are working in Malaysia or they're already on a visa, they can actually take part-time classes as well. So they do serve refreshments for evening classes. Speaking of refreshments, of course, since we have students from 100 plus different cultures, our cafeteria has close to 400 different types of food options available on a daily basis. We also have a Subway on campus. We have a espresso-based cafe. We have a burger place. We have a Korean restaurant. We have Indonesian, Japanese, Malaysian, Indian, Arabic. We have shawarma on campus. We have mandi on campus. I mean, anything that you might want to eat as someone that is in South Asia or Middle East, we definitely have that, right? Um, Everything is halal. That's not a problem at all. And everything is subsidized for students to actually be able to afford and eat properly. In other facilities, as I was earlier mentioning, we have a clinic on campus. If you are aware of what visa procedures are like for Malaysia, once you arrive to Malaysia, you're supposed to do a medical checkup. We do the medical checkup on campus. If you are interested, you could actually sign up and do the medical checkup on campus as well. We have two different convenience stores for students that are staying on campus to get their groceries or to get their day-to-day needs. We have a cash deposit machine, an ATM machine. Um, we also have a gym on campus. We have a basketball court, a futsal court, a cricket net, table tennis. We have a pool table. We have a swimming pool. There's actually quite a lot of such facilities available. There's also clubs and societies, for example, bowling club. They've come up with a pickleball club now, unfortunately. There's a badminton club. There's quite a few things that are there for students to explore while they are students. Not academically, of course, in other experiences as well. We have our own bus station on campus, of course, with close to 20 plus APU buses that go back and forth between the train station and also the different accommodations that I was earlier mentioning. And here is a quick look at the accommodation. So this was the building I earlier highlighted, which is the on-campus residence, right? So it's sort of like a hotel where you have your own bathroom in every room. This is a twin sharing room. It has a attached bathroom and a mini fridge. Not every room comes with a mini fridge. There are close to 40 different options that you have on and off campus in terms of single room, sharing room, medium room, master room, small room, an entire apartment to yourself, a duplex unit. It depends on what you want. A range of the cost for these is from $200 all the way to $450. It really depends on what you like. There are some options which are less than 200 as well. This is an example of a small single room, right? Um, so that's a little bit of an insight on the facilities, the university, the accommodation. And I will just quickly skip to the next part. In case, once again, as a reminder, if you have any questions, you can definitely use the chat option, just like Nida here has a question. If she has completed 1 year of BBA in India, can you do a transfer to IBM at APU? One of the most important things in this is that the subject of the first year that we have and the subjects that you have done in your first year should be the same. We can do that. If there's 80% similarity of syllabus, you can start your studies from the second year. So we can look at that. You can submit your documents and we can do that, right? All right, so moving to the academic part. Now, the way in which we actually have achieved the 100% employability and why APU is so well known for um, technology and upcoming areas is because we follow something called a higher education framework. Um, Higher Education 4.0 is actually something that has designed the way APU does its courses. We make sure that the upcoming technologies such as AI, data science, cybersecurity, mechatronic engineering, computer engineering, financial technology, sustainable computing, digital leadership are all covered across various areas. So we like to call them verticals, right? So if you have a look at it, fintech has three different colors, right? There's one here, there's two here, there's three here, because there's three different perspectives through which we teach fintech. We teach fintech in banking, we teach fintech in IT, we teach fintech as fintech, right? We teach AI in business, we teach AI in computer science, correct? In fact, we also teach AI in engineering, so we should add that there. So these are verticals whereby you're looking at different perspectives of digital focus, right? And it's because of these areas we have a highest paid graduates survey done, and this is why we also have 100% employability. And the way the employability actually is achieved is we bring companies to the campus. The center point that I just showed you a couple of pictures ago, right here, which looks really calm and quiet, probably around lunch hour, becomes really busy and buzzing when we have 120 plus companies on campus. The last one was, in fact, less than 20 days ago. We had one on the 7th of May. We had 125 companies, close to 10,000 jobs were offered on spot. 1,900 students were shortlisted. Companies that were on campus, maybe the ones that you would know, which are not regional but international: Mercedes, Coca-Cola, IBM, Deloitte, Ernst& Young, KPMG, Accenture, Koenigsegg. Honestly, for engineering, for example, Top Glove, Schlumberger, there's a lot of companies, every bank, all the airlines, all the accounting and finance firms, they all are big employers of APU students. And as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, that Malaysian universities have collaborations. We too have a collaboration with DMU, De Montfort University, which is in Leicester. Every course that is offered at APU, once you graduate, you get 1 degree from Malaysia and you get 1 degree from UK, from De Montfort University. We will be, I'm just reading the chat, sorry. We will be discussing the programs shortly, so no worries about that. Some of the programs that we also have a Swiss degree with is actually the Global Hospitality and Tourism programs. So we have a collaboration with HTMI, and we have a dual degree award for hospitality and tourism with them. Now, just to give you a rundown of the programs that we do have, being the most elaborate IT school in Malaysia. Of course, we have close to 20 programs for computing, right? We have IT, we have cloud engineering, business information systems, fintech, IoT, sustainable computing. The top areas are data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, software engineering, AR and VR. And these are all 3-year programs, right? Everything that is taught in undergraduate is a 3-year program. The only one, engineering, is a 4-year program after your grade 12th, right? Hospitality and tourism, once again, the last 3 programs, I'm just going to highlight them. These are with a Swiss degree with HDMI. Okay, so we have business management, and we have business management with AI and analytics. We have digital leadership, we have business analytics, we have business economics, international business management with supply chain management, human resource management with people analytics, digital marketing. We also have, of course, psychology I mentioned earlier, media and communication studies, which you can consider as mass communication or journalism, international relations, IR. We also have our School of Accounting. One of the schools APU is 5 stars for. So accounting and finance, forensic accounting, forex and investment, ACTEC, which is accounting technology, banking and finance and investment analytics or fintech, actuarial science in fintech as well, or data analytics, and engineering. So this is the only school which is a 4-year course. Electrical and electronics, mechatronics, computer engineering, petroleum engineering, and mechanical engineering. Since we have Ali in chat that wants specific information about mechatronic engineering, I will just mention very quickly what mechatronic engineering actually is. My drawing is horrible, so please bear with me. But when you see mechatronic engineering, this is actually a combination of mechanical and electronics. And there is computer science right here in the middle that connects the two together to actually make mechatronic engineering, right? Just to give you a very easy example. 10 years ago, if you were in a car, you wanted to open the window, you used to do mechanical movement. You turn your hand in round and round and round. That basically is only mechanical, correct? Now you don't do that anymore. You press a button, which creates an electronic signal that goes to a small chip. Based on the signal, the machine decides whether the window goes up or the window goes down. So that combination of technology is mechatronic engineering. If you think about cars, again, cars used to be petrol, petrol became hybrid, hybrid became the worst thing possible, EVs, right? Electronic vehicles, that's just my opinion. But that's again mechatronic engineering. And another example I can give you of mechatronic engineering is machine vision and intelligence. When you cross, yeah, I know. When you cross immigrations in many countries nowadays, you don't even need to pull out your passports. They actually have machine vision and intelligence. They could just identify you. And that is a combination of mechanical, electronics, and computing. Easy example, when I was 10 years old and it was cold in the room and I had an aircon, I did not have a remote to turn it down. I had to climb on top of the sofa, turn it down manually because everything was analog, right? Now everything is digital. So from mechanical, we have now moved to mechatronics. And what has been introduced? Electronics and computer science. Another easy example, something unfortunately I gave into 2 months ago, smartwatches. Engineering, beauty of engineering was Swiss watches. Now with an Apple Watch, all of that is gone because there's no longer that engineering beauty because it's all electronics, right? So that's a little bit on mechatronics. And if you're interested in engineering, this is definitely one of the most upcoming areas because it covers the whole spectrum of what industry wants. I hope that answers your questions. Since we have someone that is also interested in mechanical, quick differentiation between mechatronics and mechanical. Mechanical focuses on the movement and material of any machine only. It does not focus on how technology is integrated or how electronic is integrated in all of the things that I just mentioned. Okay, so it's more on engineering material. School of Design, I'm going to skip through a bit because we do have shortage of time. So School of Design, we have 4 different programs. We have industrial design, visual effects, animation, and digital advertising. This school has actually been one of the most award-winning schools at APU. Our students have been the past 5 years global winner of James Dyson Award. I'm pretty sure you know Dyson, the company. So they actually do a product design competition every year, and for the past 5 years, APU students have been champions, right? Um, Architecture, I mentioned that. Again, a self-explanatory course. Nothing much that we really need to discuss here, but this architecture program is 3 years. The entire architecture program is supposed to be 5 years, but you can't do it in one go because you have to do 3 years. You have to then work 2 years, then you have to do a 2 years master's, then you have to work 2 years to get your architecture license. We at the moment have the 3-year architecture with the remaining coming soon. If anyone is interested in masters, we have technology-based masters, technology management, information technology-based management, digital transformation, software engineering, AI, cybersecurity, and data science. Then we have non-tech as well, MBA, digital leadership, AI, supply chain, business analytics, digital marketing, accounting, forensic analysis, finance, fintech, project management, design, innovation management, and learning design technology. We also have research-based masters and PhD. And we have online programs as well: AI, cybersecurity, data science, MBA, digital leadership, sustainable leadership, business analytics, oil and gas, hospitality and tourism. All of these are online. I can do a brief on computer engineering once this is done, no problem. Then we have pre-university programs as well. If you are after grade 10th or IGCSE, this does not apply to students that are an American diploma. This does not apply to students that have completed Thanawiya or grade 12th. This is only for grade 10th. Grade 10th in South Asian systems, and also IGCSE A levels. Since we are on the topic of masters and you have a question about MBA, 30% of the curriculum has actually changed, and we have added 3 things: time series and forecasting, uh, applied machine learning, and also business information systems in MBA. What you are talking about when it comes to AI in MBA is not how AI works or how you develop it, but how it is applied. For someone in management to make best use of artificial intelligence and automation, those are the practices that we teach in AI. If anyone is interested in English programs before the main course, we do have a language center, so we prepare students for English courses as well. Also, now majority part of the presentation is done. We will be attending to the questions shortly. However, this is one of the things that I always like to ask is, how do you determine the success of a university, right? Now, as a university, if for me to come here and tell you that, oh, we have won this, we are that, of course, I'm from the marketing department. It's my job. I get paid to do that. However, we actually have 270, close to 270 awards that have been won in the year 2025. The number, in fact, is a lot more, but the last time we checked in 2025, it was 270-ish awards. And these awards, majority of them, are not won by people from the marketing department, lecturers from the School of Computing, or people that are in the admissions department. These awards are won by students that are actually studying. So if you have a look on your screen, it's a couple of slides I'm going to skip through quickly, but Google 30-hour hackathon champions, Intel AI Global Impact Festival champions, Intel and Crest Inter-University champions, AI Global Impact first runner-up as well. So we were first and we were also second. SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineering Excellence Award, Amazon champions, Data Science Challenge champions, Microsoft champions, Petronas champions, Standard Chartered champions. So this is basically what students are able to do. And one of the main reasons how this is possible is because the way the studies are done at the university is to ensure whatever is taught is also applied at the same time. So every class has a lecture, and then you have a tutorial or a lab where you are then applying what you're learning. If you learn that 1 + 1 is 2, the same week you are going to do it yourself to prove that what you've learned was actually true, right? So these are some of the awards that are there. And yeah, quick application process. I will do this in 5 minutes because we have this amazing team from TJS here today that are going to take care of you afterwards, but I'll just do a super quick overview of what the application process is like. Submit your documents as soon as you can for July or September intake. As soon as you have your documents, you can then expect an offer letter within 24 hours. I will personally work with the team to ensure your applications are processed. Visa process is super simple. You just submit documents and then the documents are taken care of. We submit the visa applications as we receive from the team. You can then track your visa on the government website. And once the visa is approved, then you can actually plan your travel to Malaysia. Some nationalities are required to apply for a single entry visa. We can assist you with that as well. Just to give you a quick overview of what the intake dates are. Undergraduate programs, the next one is 9th of July. So honestly speaking, next 10 days is preferably your deadline to apply. Because when it comes to June, July, August, September, these months become really high volume applications for the government, because most, if not all, universities have their intakes in September. So our applications bottleneck in the system, and sometimes it can take a little bit longer. So preferably act as fast as you can. These are some of the dates that you might want to know. September is 28th, July is 9th, right? Just a rough estimate of tuition fee, close to $9,500 to $10,000 for bachelor's degree program. Master's is roughly about $10,000 or so. You can get in touch with the team to get the fee guide if you want. There's also the visa fee, a one-time registration fee, and some deposits. Again, if you have an offer letter, all of this will be broken down and given to you. If you have a question about scholarships, based on educational qualification, if you are a IGC SE, Cambridge, American Diploma, CBSE, or any Indian education system holder, Pakistan boards, or Bangladesh, HSC, SSC, IB, Thanawiya, we have a lot of different scholarships, up to 30% and so on. But preferably apply as soon as you can because these are also limited, right? Last but not least, just a quick overview of the student life. So we also do a lot of activities for students. We have various clubs and societies. We host the biggest cultural night at a university in Malaysia every year. Are international students included in these championships? Actually, majority of them are international students as well. Yeah, so ICN, we host close to 60 to 70 countries, ambassadors and counselors. We invite the embassies, and we showcase the culture of all the different countries to the students that are there. And generally speaking, one of the main reasons you would want to go and study abroad is, in fact, to get exposure. And this is basically where students get that exposure and experience. This is something that no book or no classroom can actually teach you because it is something that is very, very, very dependent on your experience, right? Last slide is basically a Q&A session. I just want to check if my headphone is still on because there was no sound. I think it thinks it's... Can someone just say something?
Yeah, hey.
Perfect. All right, so I am going to go through the chat and answer some of the questions that are not answered. That is, by the way, an official end of the presentation. If you have any questions that you wanted to ask, now is the right time. If there are questions that I have missed out, I'm just going to go through that. In terms of accommodation, do you have to pay a deposit? Yes, you do. Just as standard practice in Malaysia, across any accommodation, minimum 2 months deposit is there, and 1 month rental. So that, yes, that is there. Mechatronics dual degree, we have covered that. Mechanical has been covered as well. Computer engineering and cybersecurity. The main difference between computer engineering and cybersecurity is, first I'll tell the difference and then I'll explain. So this as a device, it's a phone, is computer engineering, correct? So if I was to ask you what color is this, you would say black, right? If I had a laptop which was white in color, you would say white. But when we ask what color is cybersecurity, it doesn't have an answer. What color is artificial intelligence? It doesn't have an answer. What color is data science? It doesn't have an answer because these are concepts. Conceptual study is Bachelor's of Science, which is 3 years program. Engineering study is Bachelor's of Engineering, which is a 4-year program. Computer engineering is a combination of electronics. I would say about 60-70% is electronic engineering with the implementation of software engineering, right? And cybersecurity is mainly coding, purpose-based coding for.
Voice का टीचर
All
पता
right.
होगा पता होने वाला है लिंक उनका
Okay, I'm just going to mute. Sorry. If you do have a question, you can raise your hand, unmute, and ask.
Can you
Hello.
please give me more details about the mechanical engineering? I need to know how good is mechanical engineering from APU and the methodology being used and how reputed it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. I will just carry on with these answers, the ones that I have, then I will answer you because that might take some time. I think we are mostly done. How do you apply for scholarships? You don't need to apply for scholarships.
इसके बाद आंसर करेगा.
Your scholarships are automatically applied the moment you submit your documents. What are the requirements to qualify for computer engineering? Rehan, if you could let us know what education system you are from, we can answer that for you. But generally, the requirement is grade D and above in physics and mathematics or chemistry and mathematics. We do not have any aviation pilot program. We only have aviation management. You can transfer for mechatronics to DMU. We do have a transfer option for DMU, but that is after the second year. Mr. Ehtisham, you can connect to one of the counselors from TJS. Guys, if you can just take note and assist Mr. Ehtisham on the application process. Shoaib has a couple of questions. Mechatronic majors, can they use the DJX Spark models? Does one require to book? Okay. Some facilities on campus do require you to book appointment. I assume the NVIDIA lab is going to have an appointment to book because these are very, I don't want to say expensive, but these are quite high profile facilities. You might need to, however, facilities in the university are open for students to use whenever there is no class ongoing, right? Yes, you can use CNC and CAD, not a problem at all. Engineering with finance major, let me check. I think there is a fintech option. Does uni have a job placement? We don't have placement. We bring the companies to the campus. We provide a platform for students to actually meet the companies face to face and apply. Part-time work is not allowed in Malaysia while you are on a student visa. Is cashback applicable? Musfir, I believe you have to ask. Yes, the team. What courses are booming right now in your... I hate answering this question. All of the courses that we offer are actually courses that are in demand. We don't offer courses that are no longer in demand because then we wouldn't have students for them. We used to teach web development. You no longer need to teach web development because you can have an AI model develop a website for you in seconds, right? We used to have something called media informatics. We have changed that to media and communication studies because that's what's up to date. So there are no books in the university. Everything is digital. That is because you are able to update that over and over again. Graduate pass is something that once you complete your bachelor's degree, you can actually extend your visa for 1 year. Our employability rating is for all students, local and international. I'm not sure if I could say in Malaysia because it is given to student. Yeah, it is within Malaysia. Correct. We have Mr. Abdul Rakeen that has raised his hand. You can unmute and ask a question if you have one.
Hi, Mr. Saad.
Hello.
Could you please explain me the difference between moving my application directly to the university and with TJS? Like, what are the benefits do I have moving with TJS?
I think that's a question TJS should answer.
All right.
I think, I mean, for us, it's, I mean, you send the documents to them. They are our partners. They send documents to us. You send documents to us. Is the same thing. It depends on where you are. Sometimes, for example, some people prefer to have a local support. If you are somewhere in Saudi Arabia, you would have people that can actually help you out there locally. Us as a university, we cannot be in all of those countries at all times. Sometimes it's one of those things that's one of the difference. Of course, there are certain benefits, like you might have seen. There's some cashback, I believe, that is being offered today. But later on, I will let Shahad or Dania or someone from TJS explain that as well.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
What part of the application process that most often delays the offer letter, even when documents look complete?
What part delays the offer letter even when documents look complete?
Yes, like normally, what part should I keep in mind or bear in mind to
Have you submitted your documents?
not yet, sir. I'm
Okay.
planning to.
Usually, if it's not the final results, that's it.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Other than that, no, there's no reason for there to be a delay in offer letters.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. I will answer one question and then I will go to the engineering question I had earlier. A student has 77% marks. What scholarship? If you could let us know which curriculum, then we can let you know on the scholarship rating. Now, engineering. Mechanical engineering, right? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen to share engineering brochure because that'll probably help me answer this question properly, or maybe I'll just open the website. In the meantime, do we have any other questions? Anything else that we can answer for you? Please let us know because we are towards the end of this session.
Hey, good evening. Can I ask one question, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I followed your whole presentation and like it looks very simple, straightforward, means there is no hype, there is no extra requirement. Like I attended a few counselings and like for let's say US or for someone, it's like basically they put more pressure on profile building, APs, and many other things like the SATs and all that.
I have an answer for that.
Yeah, please. Because you are looking very straightforward and easy.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Saudi. Actually, I'm from India.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
So universities like Delhi University will say cutoff is 97%. Am I right?
Correct.
And then they will say we've got the best companies coming to the university, which is why we have 97%.
Exactly.
And then they will tell the university, the companies come to us because we only have 97%.
Okay.
And then they call it placement.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's basically that joke that you have that I go and I tell the bank, give me $1 million. I am the Bill Gates son-in-law. Then I go to Bill Gates and I say, I've got $1 million. I want to marry your daughter. It's a circle. You understand?
Yes.
That's actually how it works. The reason that happens is because countries like US, Canada, UK, Australia, and India, you could just open a university and someone will knock your door and be like, I want to study here. So what ends up happening is you've got a lot more people than you can take. So you want to filter them out and take the best. Then you say, okay, I know you've done good in your boards. Please also give me your SATs. I know you've done good in your SATs, but were you the house captain? Or if you were the house captain, how many years were you the house captain? Right? Because these universities want to take the cream and then say we are the best.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So I actually got a lot of heat from one of the directors at one of the universities in India because I asked him, have you ever taken a 50% student and made them 3.8? Or do you only take 97 and go home? Because when a 97 student in CBSE, do you really need to do any effort and make them study? No, you don't. You give them a book, the next day they can write a exam paper on it and get 100% on that. Correct? So the
Yes.
filtration process is to make their life easy. This is my understanding. I've been in education industry for 12 years. No one's ever been able to answer this question that, oh, so can you take a 50% student? And I actually got this question when they asked, what is the requirement to enter APU? I said 50%. They said, why should our 97% students study with your 50% students? And that actually kind of made me a little bit mad. Like, so what's wrong? You can't have 50% and join a university then? And unfortunately, this is a society problem. This is a structure problem, right? Getting into a university should not be as difficult as how it is portrayed in many parts of the world. The reason it is portrayed as difficult is because people just want to take the best to make the life easy. It's not easy to run a university with students that are struggling to study, because then you have to give them extra classes. You have to give them lecturers extra hours. You have to make sure that they're getting this support. But you take a student that's 97%, you tell them this is your questions that are going to be asked, they will answer it. Students will get 99%. Then they will go and write research papers. Research papers will get published. Publications will give universities really good rankings. Why do people get paid to do a PhD? No one's ever thought about that. Oh, I'll get paid to study at a university, because you're going to output research under that university and do great work. That work is going to uplift the university's name in the industry. That's it. So actually getting into a university should not be difficult. And unfortunately, we come from a culture that, oh, it's so easy, it must not be good. And I think that is something that should not be followed. Right? I hope that answers your question in one way.
I really appreciate for this transparency.
I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about this question that you asked, because I really don't like the way education systems are run and the way students are pressured into getting more and more and more just because you want to make your life easy. So
I really appreciate, man. This is something which I was expecting to get a clear answer, and now
Great.
it clears my mind, like why you are not putting pressure on profile.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a student that has gotten 50% should also have the same opportunities as someone at 70%. Maybe financially you will have better aid, right? Okay, so I was asked earlier why you should study engineering at APU, and one of the things that is very particularly prominent about APU courses in engineering is actually our Washington Accord recognition. So when you go, let me just quickly show you, sorry. Is it here? Yeah, there we go. So if you actually study engineering at APU and you complete the 4-year program, you can go into 40 plus different countries in and around Malaysia, globally actually. Australia, Bangladesh, Canada, China, Malaysia, India, Pakistan, Peru, Saudi Arabia has just joined last year. Any of these countries, you take a APU engineering degree, you are immediately recognized as an engineer, because they all fall under Washington Accord, right? Board of Engineers Malaysia is a signatory in Malaysia, National Board of Accreditation in India, Education and Evaluation Training Council in Saudi Arabia, ABET in US, Engineers Australia, Engineers Canada. There's quite a lot. So this, basically, when you talk about recognition, importance of recognition, there's only 2 major areas where recognition is very important. One is engineering and one is medicine. Reason for that is, if I am someone that is not licensed to practice in a country because the way they do things is different, I might end up taking someone's life or hurting someone critically. Same thing goes into engineering. If the device that I make or the machine that I make not functions properly, it might hurt someone critically. If I write a bad code, that is not going to critically affect. So there's no accreditation globally for computer science. For engineering, yes, there is. And this engineering covers majority of the world, right? So that is a little bit on why engineering at APU is beneficial or something that stands out. Other than that, when you are studying engineering with us and you get the dual degree with DMU behind me, you get a Master's of Engineering degree, because in UK, engineering is 3 years. In Malaysia, engineering is 4 years. So the equivalent is 3 plus 1. You get a Master's from UK. I hope that is clear. Yes, 65% should be fine as long as your mathematics is more than 40 and your physics is more than 40. Um, you do not need IELTS if you are from English-speaking education systems such as CBSE or A-levels, O-levels, IB, American Diploma, and so on. Perfect. Any other questions? Anyone else has anything they would like to ask?
Sir,
Yes.
what kind of support do students get once they arrive in Malaysia if I'm joining APU?
Okay, so basically, when you arrive, we first of all have a student welcome team. I was earlier going to show this to you, but I decided to skip it. But we do have a student ambassadors and student welcome team. We have students from basically 70 different nationalities that are working. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that are actually assisting on campus. So these are existing students. They can help you out. You will be picked up from the airport. We will help you check into your accommodation. We will make sure that your medical checkup is done. Make sure that your passport is submitted. Once the passport submission is done, you want to open a bank account, we can also help you in opening a bank account. When it is the peak intake period, which is like July, September, and so on, these banks actually come to campus and they open accounts for students on campus. And throughout your studies, in case there's anything that you need, you can always get in touch with any of us.
All right,
So
sir.
we can
Got it.
help you out. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Shoaib, you can unmute your mic and ask while I will share on the screen for Rajvali the tuition fees. Yes, Shoaib, how can we help you?
All right. So I wanted to know if university has any research opportunities, and if so, do they have some kind of funding if one wants to open a club, I mean a society, to conduct some experiments?
Okay, we have something called SRI, Strategic Research Institute. If you are writing a research paper that really is of value, you can definitely go to SRI and you can propose to them the research. I recently did that. I got shut down because they said my idea was not as good. So sometimes it can be very humbling, but if you have an idea, is a very good opportunity to do that. We do have research grants that are given to us all the time. APU actually has the one and only research UNESCO chair in Malaysia. So that's not a problem. But again, it is highly dependent on what your research is about.
Yeah, got it.
No problem.
Yes, I have a question right now. Do students now studying at APU have the choices to ask for change of lecturers?
Do students
Sometimes
have
maybe some students are not good good with some lecturers, or maybe they're not satisfied with the way the lecture is being delivered, for example, like this. So do they have options to ask for change or like this?
Actually, we don't have that. We've barely had any cases where we've had students wanting to change lecturers. But if you were to give the option to students, they will take it every semester for every subject. This is also from the mindset. It's sometimes like that. We do have the option for students to get in touch with lecturers one-to-one, right? If, for example, you're having difficulty with something, try to address the problem rather than to get rid of it completely. There is definitely, if it's a very, very severe case, you can definitely do that. That's not a problem. It might delay your study a bit or something like that might happen. It's possible, but it's just something that we've never had to do before. So I speak from lack of experience.
No, because not all teachers are okay. For example, maybe some universities you have some bad teachers, some good teachers, some excellent teachers right now. So some students maybe the pace is different. They are not comfortable with the pace, for example, right now. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
No, I understand. It's just that we've so far, because I think one of the things that is very good about academics, and this was something that was a surprise to me as well when I came as a student 13 years ago, is that the lecturers on campus are actually very close to the students. When I was in school, if the teacher knew my name, I was very surprised. I was used to be like, wow. But here, where you're walking around campus, you'll see your lecturers are eating lunch there. You're very close to them. You can approach them at any time you want. You can write to them personal message them anytime you want. They answer questions. So the way we have created the environment and culture in the university is to ensure that we are looking after students and ensuring that they are getting the support that they want. So I have many cases that I can actually talk to you about, but I feel like that's unnecessary. But I think this is something that I would recommend that you don't worry about.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Is there any fees that there for applying?
No, there's no application fee. You can, in fact, send your documents today and you can get your offer letter free of cost. Of course, the fee that would be paid is when you've decided to study at APU and you want to apply your visa, then yes.
Good evening, I joined lane. Can I just ask you something?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, see, we have already registered, okay, and we paid the already visa processing fees.
Okay.
Yeah, my son got around 78% this one, the scores.
Yeah.
And now we are planning to take in APU this engineering of mechanical honors, okay?
Okay.
So how much the scholarship he is eligible for that one when he's
You said
having a
you
78%?
is this is CBSE 78% of all of the subjects, yeah?
Yes, yes.
That's 15% scholarship.
Only 15%.
Yes.
But I saw
Right
your
here.
seminar, it says that from 15 to 40% is for 90.
Yes, right there.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
came prepared.
Uh-huh. Okay, so thank
All
you for
right, sir.
this.
You're most welcome. Any other questions, or we can call it a night?
I mean, this scholarship is from the semester one, or can you
This
please explain?
scholarship, the scholarships that are applicable based on the systems, it's applicable for the entire study, first year, second year, third year, or fourth year for engineering. But the way the scholarship is applied is, let's say you get a 30% scholarship. So I'm just going to draw a little bit right here for you to understand, right? So let's say this is 100%, right? So there's 50% here and there's 50% here. The way scholarship is applied is if you get 30%, so 30% will be deducted right here completely. So you pay 50 and 70. You end up paying 30% of the full amount, but the amount is deducted from the second semester if you're paying by semester, right?
Yeah.
Just to give you a example, just to make it easy, if the tuition fees is 10,000 and you get 30%, which is 3,000, so you pay 7,000, correct? 7,000 for 2 semesters does not mean 3.5. 7,000 means 5,000 and then 2,000.
No, see, the what I have seen is that suppose the fee, because I got the initial offer letter, okay, the price was mentioned that one time it's 27,100 ringgit, okay?
Semester will be slightly more.
Semester will be more, yeah. It's charging
Slightly more.
29,100.
Yes, slightly more. 300 USD. I think there is a difference when you pay by semester.
Okay.
Did
No,
you
but it's coming more. It's coming. It's more than $500, I believe.
You can share the offer letter with us to check, but I think it should be 1,200 ringgit or so, not more.
No, how I can share here? I'll just see. Okay.
You can tell me the name. I have access to all offer letters.
Okay, Sufyan Shafiqur Rahman. SUFIYAN.
Are you looking at the course fee or you're looking at the whole thing? Maybe you're
No,
looking
the whole.
no. The scholarship is applied on course fee, not on the entire
Yeah,
thing.
no. I know that one. It's applied on the course fees. I'm looking on the course fees only.
Okay.
Because I know the additional processing charges and everything is different.
All right. What's the name again? Can you spell it?
Sufyan. SUFIYAN.
Okay. I'm opening the system. In the meantime, anyone else has any questions?
आपका जवाब दिया कि नहीं आप तो बताइए मैकेनिकल का हाँ नहीं
Sir?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to confirm the scholarship criteria again, since my
Mm-hmm.
parents are here right now. So I got
Mm-hmm.
72% in grade 12 CBSE, but
Yeah.
the course I'm in is Commerce 1 with IP.
Commerce.
Yeah, Commerce with IP without maths.
Okay. And you want to study
Okay.
what program again?
Cybersecurity.
So if your mathematics in grade 10th is 50 and above, and your grade 12th is all pass, you can join cybersecurity. You have to take a mathematics subject in the first semester. And
Okay.
you said 77% just now?
No, 72.
72%, you'll be eligible for 10% scholarship.
10% scholarship.
Okay.
Okay.
Just sharing my, yes, anything else?
Yeah, so the scholarship criteria. So
Uh-huh.
every semester or like every year, does it change depending on the student study, or is it
No, no.
applicable for
It's what you get is what you get until the end.
until the end? Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so about the fees. Okay, as you said previously, per semester, if you are paying per semester, does the course fee get in some high amount or just?
So the difference is 1400 ringgit actually, as you can see right here. If 1700 plus 12,110, 17,000, sorry, is 29,110, which is
Yeah.
1,400 ringgit difference, not more than $500.
Okay.
Yes.
So if suppose if you pay in one time, that is 27,100.
There you go. That's right.
Okay. Okay. And the additional fees,
That remains the
will
same.
be okay.
This is your offer letter, by the way. I just opened it. It's 15%
Yeah, I saw that
scholarship.
one. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. There we go. Cool. Any
Nor-
questions? Yes.
Normally, how much
Excuse
time it
me.
takes to get the visa?
It depends on the documentation. Once you have applied, if you've submitted everything, if everything is fine, usually takes 3 to 4 weeks. These days, because it is peak period, it could take up to 6 weeks.
Okay.
When will the academic year be starting?
July is the 9th of July and September is 28th. I have also sent a link to the AI course that was asked.
Are you saying 2 starts will be there, or like 2 dates of starting?
Oh, we start 4 times a year. We start in March, in July, in September, in November. They are all different.
Excuse me, you mentioned in the presentation that you don't do placement or internship right now with
No,
companies over
internships,
there.
yes. Okay, the reason I mentioned that is because I want to specifically stress on the word placement. We provide a platform for students. We bring the companies to the campus. In fact, in Malaysia, we do the biggest career fair that is possible. And these companies on spot give internships and job opportunities. So sometimes when we say placement, it comes with a notion that, oh, I just have to study and the university will place me in a company. We don't do that. We
No,
bring
I
the
was talking about about placement during the course. For example, in the first year, on the
so
second year, or the
there
third year, for
is
example, for
a
practical
mandatory
experience.
4 month. There is a mandatory 4 month internship before
Oh,
the
that is,
final year.
and this
Yes,
is the
yes.
university responsibility to look for companies for the placement.
The responsibility is to bring the companies to the campus.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
as I was showing you the pictures there, so you see it's, and you know, while we are on this topic, I can actually share my screen and show you. What we do is 365 days of the year, we have a career center that looks after what job opportunities are available. And I'm just sharing the page, which is on Facebook. Okay. You can see APU Career Center. Are you able to
Yeah.
see?
Yes.
For 14 hours ago, Kickstart Your Career with AI by Lenovo. Right? Now, this
Yeah.
information is given here. This information is given here. And how to apply is given here. Other than this, we can't do hand holding for 19,000 students. They do this all the time throughout the year. They are even taking students to Japan, by the way. I can show you now, a couple of days ago. There we go. Career exploration program, 6 days, 6 nights and 7 days, you can go to Japan. Company visits, exposure, industry networking. You pay about $1,400. You can pay in 6 installments if you want, and you can go to Japan. It includes your return flight, tours, everything. Right? This is done by the university. We conducted the Singapore edition in February. We went 3 nights to Singapore for students to go and visit companies. Right? So, like I said, and this was the career fair that I was earlier mentioning, these are all the companies that came to the campus. Now, if you are a student that is going to look at all of this happening, and then you like the post and you go and you do nothing about it, there's no internship possible. But you have to apply. You have to actually compete. So that's what we try to also prepare students for what they will need to do in the future.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
got a
okay. So
question.
Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt. I was wondering, so I've seen some other Malaysian universities and they seem to be offering a scholarship if you maintain a GPA of 3.5 throughout your first or second year. So I was wondering, does APU have something similar?
No, we don't. I'll tell
Okay,
you one of the main reasons why we don't do that. If the stars align and you get 3.49 GPA, and if you had gotten 3.5, you would have gotten a scholarship. The first thing you will do is go and tell, oh, you gave me less because I was going to get scholarship.
Got it.
A university in Malaysia and another university in Malaysia teaching the same program will not teach it the same. 3.0 at one university and 3.0 at another university might be completely different, correct? But CBSE in New Delhi, CBSE in Kuwait, CBSE in Saudi Arabia is always the same. You agree with me?
Yeah, fine.
It's the same question paper, it's the same method of assessment, correct? So if a student gets 90% here and 90% there or 70% there, it was exactly the same conditions, right? Universities don't function that way. So we don't do that. We don't give scholarships based on that. We give scholarships based on internationally recognized education systems.
You ask
Oh.
me. Excuse me.
Yes.
Even I have a question. Is 65.8 percentage? Will it be hard for a student like me to go for mechatronics?
If you are interested in it, it's not going to be difficult. If you're interested in studying engineering, it's not going to be difficult for you.
Because I have been told it's quite a difficult subject course.
It depends. It depends. Difficult is very subjective, and if running away from difficult is something, I would not recommend that. If you think it's something you want to do, take it up as a challenge and do it. If it's something that you
Yes, I
think
want
is
to
going
do
to
it.
be beneficial for you, just take it up as a challenge and do it. But most
Yes, I
important
want
thing
to
is
do it.
interest. People that are good in mathematics continue to do the questions even when the answers are wrong. Right? That's why they say practice, 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 correct? Because you have to do these things over and over and over again to be good at it. Mr. Tariq,
All right,
you've
thank
raised
you.
your hand. You please go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. I just want to ask, I mean, towards the end of the curriculum, do you take students for any internship program to any companies or something, last semester or last year or something?
Before the final year, as we were just discussing, there is a 4-month mandatory internship. So every student has to do 4 months of work in companies.
So the platform is provided by the APU.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Also, like you have dual degree program. Do you take students to that university at any stage?
Every summer we have something called summer program at DMU. Students can register for that. 40 students are shortlisted based on their performance and their interests. That is
40
done every
students
year.
from the university or each
From
department?
APU, from the university.
APU. Okay,
Yeah.
from the university, okay. Considering all departments.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is
No
it
worries.
possible to get any extra additional scholarship from outside, like any other sponsors other than APU?
Not that I know of. In Malaysia, it's possible for Malaysian students, not for international students. So not that I know of. You are only eligible for academic scholarship at APU. Yes, Mr. I hope that answers your question, by the way.
Yeah.
Mr. Motasim?
Yes, thank you very much for the session. I just wondered because I need to leave. Would you be sharing the presentation and the recording of this? Because I want to share it with my wife if possible.
I think yes, they have recorded this session, so they'll be able to share it with you. We will make it a note that we send you the link. Ms. Shahad,
Thank you
if
very
you don't
much.
mind. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Saad, for the insightful session, and thank you everyone for joining us today. A quick brief on us. We are TJS Study Steps, and we believe that every student deserves not only quality education guidance, but also care, comfort, and support throughout their journey. Through our TJS Family Hub department, we help students find safe, verified, and affordable accommodation before arrival. We provide travel guidance and airport welcome support, and we continue to assist the students and families through our Malaysia-based team to ensure a smooth and comfortable transition. For us, students are not just applicants, you become part of the TGS family, and we are committed to supporting you every step of the way. Before we conclude our fruitful session, we are excited to announce a special giveaway to our participants today. We're offering a $500 cashback opportunity for registering students today. So if you need your offer letters, please contact us at the contact number available in the chats, and we will reach out to you to finalize your offer letters and support your applications. Thank you once again for joining, and we look forward to supporting you throughout your educational journey with TGS Study Steps Malaysia.
Thank you, TJS team. Thank you, Shahad.
Thank you very
Dania.
much.
Hope this was helpful for you guys. See you.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.